Good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. It is 2:03 p.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. To my right, Vice Chair Commissioner Nick Fournier. To my left, Commissioner Emily Klaus. On Zoom, we have Commissioner Rachel Grant, and we believe Commissioner Mejia will be joining us about 15 minutes in. She's at leadership training in Washington, D.C. So first up, we are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm leading it, so if you would rise. I pledge allegiance to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Okay, next up we have Chair.
We'd also like to start today with land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge and thank the indigenous Salish peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial, and who still inhabit the area today. Specifically, the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing.
Next up, we have approval of the agenda, and there have been two proposed amendments made from this morning's work session. Is there a motion regarding the amendments?
I move to approve the agenda as presented with the amendments suggested this morning. Those amendments being to remove consent item number 4 from the consent agenda and add it to department items number 9, and to update the proposed motion language to include waiving competitive bidding.
Okay, so motion and second to approve the agenda as stated by Vice Chair. Any discussion on that? Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, the motion carries, and we have a approved agenda. Next up, proclamation for LGBTQ plus Pride Month. Board of County Commissioners will proclaim June 2025 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in Thurston County, and we have some special guests for this presentation. Ellen,
we do. Yes, thank you so much, Chair. Good afternoon, Board. Yes, today we have the proclamation for LGBTQ plus Pride Month, and we have some incredible speakers for us today. First, I'd like to invite up to the podium Lucas Miller, who's the representative for PFLAG.
Good afternoon, members of the Commission. Thank you very much for having us here today and for proclaiming June of 2025 LGBTQ plus Pride Month. 55 years have passed since the first Christopher Street Liberation Day Parade took place in New York City, following the Stonewall incident when, for the first time, queer Americans stood up against police harassment. A great deal of progress has been made since then, and in the last 5 to 10 years, we've seen much of it rolled back significantly. So it is all the more important on occasions like this that public bodies such as this one stand up in allyship with the LGBTQ plus community, who are at this point, many of us fighting for our very existence. So I just want to say no oppressed group ever won its freedom without significant help from people outside that group. So we have occasion at this time to be very, very grateful for your allyship, and you know the allyship of many public bodies in the state of Washington who have stood up for us. I noticed we have Mayor Dante Payne present, so I just like to once again thank him for declaring Olympia a sanctuary city for the many, many LGBTQ plus people, and especially transgender Americans who are even now fleeing to Washington State, seeking a place where they can, exist publicly without harassment, without violence, without having their identities and their health care taken away. Once again, thank you very much for standing up and recognizing this month as a pivotal time historically and in the present for the rights of LGBTQ plus Americans. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. I know you've been here before, and we really appreciate you coming back. Yeah.
Thank you, Lucas. Next, I'd like to invite up Quinn, who's part of the New Boys Club.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I am Quinn Snow. I am one of the co-admins for the New Boys Club. We are a peer-led group that is available for adults 18 and over that are assigned female at birth and identify as transgender, non-binary, questioning their gender, all that jazz. I didn't really come here with a speech today, so I'll keep it short and sweet. I appreciate y'all for acknowledging Pride Month. And, things are pretty rough right now for us, but I think that's also why it's really important to remember the good. And that Pride Month is a time where we get to celebrate ourselves and just kind of like see the beauty and what makes our community what it is. There's a lot of love that goes into it and a lot of coming together and supporting each other. And and allyship is very important for that as well. So I really appreciate y'all being here for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Quinn. Next, I would like to invite up El Sanchez. They're the representative for Pizza Clatch.
Sorry, I'm short. Can you hear me?
You can pull it down.
Hello. Oh, okay. Hello, I'm Elle. I'm the executive director of Pizza Clatch. If you haven't heard of Pizza Clatch before, we're a local nonprofit. We've existed since 2007. We run in-school lunchtime support groups for LGBTQ plus youth and their allies throughout all the public high schools in Thurston County and one middle school currently. We started in 2007 after a rash of suicides by queer identified youth that were happening in high schools. And so some parents and other educators and therapists got together and created Pizza Clatch. We're called that because we provide free pizza because it's lunchtime. We don't want the students to miss lunch by coming to the group, but we also call it Clatch. It's like a term for a get-together, kind of to sit around and chat. And we want to give it a name for students who are maybe closeted or questioning, and they don't maybe want to tell their friends they're going to the queer and trans support group at lunchtime. So all I can really share about Pizza Clatch, I've been with Pizza Clatch since 2018, is how much we appreciate support from our city and our schools continuing this program. We do anonymous surveys with our students every year. And in those surveys, I could give the exact numbers, but it's really always over 60% of the students say that because of attending Pizza Clutch, they self-harm less, they think of suicide less. We've had students tell us that directly every year. We've had students tell us that sometimes Pizza Clutch is why they go to school. We have at least 40 to 50% of students that say because of attending Pizza Clutch, they feel safer at school. They come to school more because they feel safer at school, and sometimes even their grades improve just because the purpose of Pizza Clutch is not just, I know some folks might consider it to be this special privilege that's being provided for queer and trans folks and youth, but that's not the case. Also, we allow allies. You don't have to identify as queer or trans to be there. No one even has to share those identities at all if they don't want to. But really, it's so other young people can see that they are not the only non-binary person in school. They are not the only gay person in school. They are not the only Black queer person in school. They can see other people, and that breaks isolation, which is a huge issue that happens that causes a lot of young people to self-harm and to frankly take their own lives. So as much as we can't promote that we're a life-saving organization, I mean, we are essentially in a lot of ways. And not because necessarily, although I really appreciate all of our volunteers, because most of us are volunteer-led, it's really the youth supporting each other. And that's what keeps them going. And it's important for them to have support for one another and hear each other and tell each other, well, this is how I came out to my parents, or this is what I did when I was asked to leave my house for being gay. And that's a huge part of what Pizza Clutch is. So thank you for your support of our organization. And most importantly, thank you for the support of the LGBTQ plus youth in our county. I just actually stopped by a school today at a Clutch, and a staff member at that school took me aside to tell me that their old, 23-year-old child had just moved here because they told them how much more welcoming it was here, and they had just come out as trans in another state where they were living, so they moved here to feel safer. And that's been a lot of the case of what we hear. So when things are going pretty frightening along the country, it's nice to have at least some place in which you feel safe. And I know that as a queer person myself and a transgender person who's also the child of a Mexican immigrant, I do appreciate the folks in the city that remind us that I was born here, I've lived here my whole life, and I belong here just like everyone else. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Elle. And finally, we have Wild, a representative from Capital City Pride.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here, for representing yourselves and us in this allegiance and this bridge. I very much appreciate the accommodations you've set up for us today. My name is Natalie Koblenz. I go by Wild. I'm from Capital City Pride. And there's just so much that I could say, but most of these lovely folks have already really gone through the passion of where we are right now today in this climate. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to not only thank you, but let you know more about the festival this year. As you know, Capital City Pride is a 3-day long festival, and we are supporters of artists, musicians, and other tech folks that love to throw events. And so we do in-house training for people that might not be able to gain jobs. So we have a 3-day long festival with artists, musicians, AV technicians, photographers. It's a whole house full of entertainment staff. And we serve over 500 artists just in this one 3-day fest. We also serve multiple different events throughout the months, but this festival is here for the community so that we can all have a healing time. We believe that our stages are meant for healing, and it's a place where artists can live through their own traumas and be able to heal themselves by participating in this event. And this year we take over 10 stages over the 3-day holiday. Well, it's a holiday to us because we're in celebration of Pride. And we're just We're so ecstatic. We made these flyers that are going out. I've situated some across, and we're also going to make a booklet to let you know exactly what's happening, because there's so many things and so many collaborations and so many bridges that we've collected over the last 6 years since I've been president for Capital City Pride. I've really gone down in the trenches to make sure that I can build these bridges and allies with not only people in the LGBTQ community, but also allies far and wide into different counties even. And so I would love for you to take a moment. May I present this to you? To go over what we have going on this whole festival, because there are some fun things. We've collaborated with the Olympia Symphony will be there. The Bridge Music Project will be there doing breakdancing. We even have someone that's going to orient a marriage, so you can get gay married if you want to at the port on Saturday. We have a block party that's occurring. We have traveling touring artists that'll be here. We're doing economic growth in the downtown area. We have over 4,000 people that are going to come for this event alone. We've taken over some of the hotels. We just have so much love for this space, for you allowing us to grow. Considering 6 years ago, I just had a bunch of pocket change to hire one DJ. Now we're one of the largest festivals in the area. We're environmentally sound. We're a zero waste festival. We also are just so happy to be here, and everyone's growing together. So we're creating different departments. We have peer-on-peer contacts so that we can gain youth to be our volunteers. We're totally volunteer run and led, and all of our stages are produced by BIPOC LGBTQ folks. And we're just really excited to have you participate. Our event is for everyone. It's family friendly. It's a dry festival, and we hope to see you there. Thank you.
June 27th to 29th. June 27th to 29th.
Yes.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you, Wild. Thank you, speakers. Chair, I'll turn it back to you to read the proclamation, have a little recess, and then to your will.
Okay. Proclamation.
Commissioner Klaus asked if she could read this one, so we'll hand it over to.
Thank you. All right, Thurston County Proclamation for LGBTQ plus Pride Month. Whereas every year during the month of June, communities across the nation and around the world celebrate Pride Month to honor the history, resilience, and contributions of the LGBTQ plus community. And whereas Pride Month commemorates the 1969 Stonewall Uprising in New York City, a pivotal moment in the ongoing struggle for LGBTQ plus rights, dignity, and equality. And whereas Thurston County recognizes that the fight for justice and equal treatment is not over, and that many LGBTQ plus individuals still face discrimination, marginalization, and violence simply because of who they are or whom they love. And whereas we affirm that love is love, that diversity is strength, and that all people, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression, deserve to live free from fear and with full access to opportunity and belonging. And whereas we celebrate the countless contributions that the LGBTQ plus individuals have made to Thurston County, and whereas Thurston County is committed to fostering a culture of inclusion, equity, and respect, where every person is valued and empowered to live authentically. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Thurston County Commissioners hereby proclaims June 2025 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in Thurston County, adopted this third day of June 2025.
So we are going to take a quick recess, but before we do that, we're honored to have the Mayor of Olympia here, Dante Payne, and I would like to give him the floor if he is so inclined. Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dante Payne, and I have the distinct honor and privilege of serving as the Mayor of Olympia. Can we give it up for Natalie, the president of Capital City Pride? It makes me so proud to hear all of the things that you just rattled off. I know I'm going to hear it again tonight because we're declaring Pride Month for the city as well at tonight's meeting. But I really just want to thank you, all of you, for all the work that you're doing on a volunteer basis for our community. I really just kind of want to speak to this moment in terms of why these kinds of proclamations are important. And you can see that what's happening at the national level is really sort of honestly making the case for why it's important to recognize Pride Month. It's making it more relevant. The fact that we see all sorts of attacks on the LGBTQ community at this particular time, that's being spearheaded from the top down, frankly. And you can't legislate us out of existence. And it's so important that we have, that we live in a community, that we have our county affirming who we are and celebrating us. And the city of Olympia will be doing the same. So I want to express my gratitude to the board for doing something that seems like it's just routine. But perhaps if you were different people in these seats, you may not be recognizing this. And so we can't take that for granted. And so it's very important that you're doing this. So thank you. And to everyone else who's here present today, whether you are a supporter of the LGBTQ community or whether you are somebody that has a lot of questions, I promise you that nobody is going to feel offended by you asking a question with intent of learning. In fact, we want you to do that. If you have questions about who we are, please come up to us and ask. It's hard to hate up close, as I say, and it's so important that we have people who see us as our neighbors, as human beings, as people who want to make Thurston County even better for the generations that come after us. We want the same, just like everybody else. So I look forward to celebrating Pride with all of the county in Olympia this year. So thank you very much.
Mr. Klaus.
Thank you, Chair. I also have some remarks to make today. Our wonderful speakers hit on some of the points that I'd like to touch on, but I do have some remarks prepared, so I'll just read those. But before that, I wanted to say I also attended Pizza Clutch meetings when I was in high school and can say that I know firsthand that the experiences are exactly what were stated today, and it was an opportunity that really helped me throughout high school. I want to begin by recognizing that Pride has always been rooted in resistance. It started as an act of survival, a response to police brutality, exclusion, and erasure. That legacy lives on today, especially in the face of rising anti-trans legislation and the continued criminalization of LGBTQ+ people, including right here in our community. Queer and transgender people deserve more than visibility. We deserve safety, power, and a sense of belonging. Pride is not just about being seen, it's about being celebrated, feeling free, and feeling safe. It's about ensuring that our LGBTQ+ neighbors, especially our transgender youth and queer people of color, know they belong here, in our schools, our workplaces, our neighborhoods, and, yes, in our government. I want them to see that there is room for them, not just in this county, but in its leadership. As a member of the LGBTQ+ community, and as someone who served in the military when marriage became legal for all, regardless of gender, I know firsthand what it means to be silenced and to be treated as a liability. I also know how powerful it is when that silence is finally broken. I'm proud to stand with you all in proclaiming the month of June as Pride Month in Thurston County. But Pride is more than a month. It is a commitment, one that demands we back up our values with action, policies, and care that truly reflect the dignity of all people. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Klaus. Commissioner, anyone else? Commissioner Mejia has joined us. Just let the record reflect. Thank you for joining us, Commissioner Mejia. I had a few things I want to say, but they've really been covered by the different speakers. So I think we'll do our recess at this point. We're going to have a short reception outside. It is 2:27, so about 15 minutes, maybe about 2:45, we'll pick up with the board meeting, next item on the agenda. Thanks to everybody for being here. Back for Thurston County Board of County Commissioners meeting after our proclamation celebration. We're going to move to item 3 on the agenda, which is public comment. A few preliminary advisements. Board of County Commissioners welcomes comments at our board meetings. There are some guidelines governing the comments to ensure they are appropriate. Please introduce yourself, including the area of the county in which you reside. When called, address the board, not audience or staff. Silence your cell phones. The board does not directly respond to public comment, but may, on an as-needed basis, follow up. The county manager may follow up with specific items. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the board. Meeting attendees may not donate their speaking time to any other speaker. Board reserves the right to restrict a person's opportunity to address the meeting for a good cause. Comments that are no outbursts of any kind or comments that are lewd, offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory, please be respectful. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. No remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal. Finally, all materials provided to the county may be considered public records, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 RCW. So with those advisements, we'll call up John Pettit first with Paul Longwell on deck.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm John Pettit. I live off Rich Road and had a couple different things which I want to talk about today. And obviously I'm not afraid to sometimes be harsh, but I also have to acknowledge when I feel like as though the county has excelled to a good level. And so a little compliment needs to go out here to CPED, to Ashley, who is director, and Brett Burris for following through with a process known as a site inspection under Title 24-05027, and which by using that process, it gave the opportunity for a decision not to have to apply critical area ordinance to every element of a development project. So kudos to them. Great job. Appreciate their help. Now, one of the topics I wanted to talk about has to do with attitude combined with appearance. Now, one of the reasons why I'm going to talk here today has to do with something I received in the mail. Now, you wouldn't think you'd get things in the mail to private parties, but I received a rather fat envelope in the mail to me from a person that identified themselves as a concerned county citizen without a name on it. And what they were concerned about is the idea that the commissioners may be making commitments and moving forward with plans of selling the existing courthouse, building a whole new facility, other different things, and the public isn't being involved. If there's plans going on, the public needs to be involved. You know, in the role of county commissioners, you are representatives of the public. And I don't want to make you feel bad to say, no, I'm not placing you up here. I'm placing you more like the clerk at the restaurant that comes and wants to take my order. The only way you're going to know what it is that I want to have is to come and talk to me, to provide those opportunities, not just to show up because I'm upset about something, but to actually involve. You want to build trust with people? You need to talk to them. Don't give some appearance that you're greater than they are or more important. You're their representatives. You can't represent people unless you actually listen to them, observe them, and do the things that they would be wanting to have done. Okay? Now, as much as being an elected official might make it feel empowering, in reality, you're not supposed to represent your own interest. You're supposed to be representing the interest of the people out here. If you want to be able to have people get confidence in you, then you need to talk to them, you need to engage them, you need to participate, and not make it just a very difficult task. Not make it where people start thinking, the only way I'm going to get some words across or concern is I'm going to send a piece of mail to John Pettit because he's not afraid to get up and talk. Well, I'm not afraid. I'll address anybody, and I will call you out on things which I see. That's my job as a citizen. It's your job to make sure you're following the law, following the methods that are in place. And if you can't do that, then this isn't the right job. I'm encouraging, once again, create opportunity for the public to come and engage in what you're doing in decisions. It's their tax money. It's not just yours. Thank you.
Paul Longwell is next.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Paul Longwell. I'm president of the Thurston County Fair Board this year. And I'd like to thank all you commissioners and the county staff for all the work you've done to support the fair from the past and in the future. It really, without that support, we would not have a fair, and we take pride in Thurston County and demonstrating everything that happens at the fair. One thing I'd like to mention, along with Pride Month, for the first time in the history of Thurston County Fair, we have put a pride flag up our flagpole, which will be there all month and also be there during the fair. And we want the pride community to turn around and know they are welcome as part of our community to be at the fair. The fair is Thursday, July 31st through Sunday, August 3rd. And I'd like to invite each one of you commissioners to the opening ceremony on July 31st at 6 p.m. We have an awesome contest for you guys to participate in, and look forward to seeing who's going to win that. And hopefully it's somebody other than Chair Sanders. So we have a thing we'd like to pass out to you.
So these are thank you to Commissioner Grant, her idea. It gives us an opportunity for social media coverage. So we have one of these for each of the commissioners. Anywhere you go, if you can just share this, take a picture and post it to the fair, we'd appreciate it. And I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself, Marin Gadman. I am also on the board.
Yay!
Thank you.
So much.
Let's go turkey.
Can Marin or Paul talk about the fair animal this year?
That's what that is.
The fair mascot. I know it's a peacock, but I wanted them to talk about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will in just a moment.
We're getting there,
I
Commissioner.
do believe
We're
we have
getting
someone
there.
that's going to introduce.
I know.
Thank you.
We're both very excited about the peacock.
Cut her off. All right. Thank you so much. That's really exciting, and appreciate that effort to flying the flag and announcing that today is cool. So that's public comment. Is there anyone else that didn't get a chance to provide public comment or sign up? Kelly, how about you? No? Okay. Anyone online? I don't see anyone online. So that will conclude public comment. Let's move to County Manager's Update, item 4.
Thank you, Chair. We have a few updates, but I'm excited to start with the announcement of the fair mascot. And we'll call Thomasina Cooper up to do a special unveiling for this county boardroom chambers here.
That's awesome.
We have Disco Dave before you today, a remarkable piece of custom artwork by a local Thurston County chainsaw artist, and our 2025 County Fair mascot, standing at 4.5 feet tall. He is one of a kind. You'll see them around town in summer parades with the Thurston County Fair team to raise awareness for the upcoming fair.
They may have cleaned it up.
Best part, you can win Disco Dave at a raffle held at the fair. Raffle tickets can only be purchased at the fair, so be sure to boogie on over from Thursday, July 31st through Sunday, August 3rd. You can learn more and see what's coming at thurstoncountyfair.org. Thomasine, is there anything you want to say about the mascot?
This is a very special piece, and I'm sure all the commissioners are going to want it in their yards, so please come by raffles.
Wonderful. And just, Commissioner, if we could give a round of applause to all the hard work the Fair Board and all the volunteers are doing this year. My next announcement, we have a slide to put up. At the annual Public Works Rodeo held last week, in conjunction with National Public Works Week, the road operations crew and several commissioners and county leadership put their skills to the test for heavy equipment operation and precision driving while maneuvering through obstacle courses. Event winners for snowplow, we have Aaron Norquist, maintenance technician, mini excavator, Bryson Poston, assistant maintenance technician, front end loader, Bryson Poston, assistant maintenance technician, skid steer, Logan Steffen, senior maintenance technician, and overall, Aaron Norquist, maintenance technician, who is headed to the state competition. 38 participated in the pickup plow event, including commissioners. The overall top finisher was Public Works Ed Marson, Parks and Trails Maintenance and Operations Manager, and the top amateur winner was our very own Commissioner Emily Klaus. Public Works appreciates everyone who came out to show support, and we wish Aaron the best of luck at the state competition. Looking forward to next year's rodeo. My second to last update, on May 6th, the Board of County Commissioners declared a local emergency in response to the rapidly developing culvert failure at Church Hill Road Southeast, enabling Public Works to expedite contractor procurement and initiate emergency repairs without delay. Public Works collaborated with Broomfield Construction to complete the emergency repair in under 1 week. The original 8-foot culvert was severely deteriorated and beyond repair. As a result, a temporary culvert was installed to restore functionality. With the temporary culvert now in place, Public Works can move forward with planning a permanent solution to comply with the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife stream crossing requirements. Once funding is secured, the typical timeline for project delivery, including design, permitting, and construction, ranges from 3 to 5 years. And so special thanks to the hard work of Public Works for taking care of this. And then lastly, last week, the board took action to increase public comment opportunities beginning June 17th during these Tuesday 2 p.m. business meetings that occur on the first, third, and fifth Tuesdays of each month. A second public comment period will be added to the agenda, increasing verbal public comment to a total of 6 minutes for each individual if they so choose. The first public comment period will be for matters related only to agenda items, allowing the board to receive timely input focused on potential action items before them at the meeting. The second public comment period will be for general matters, broader concerns, or feedback unrelated to business items on the agenda. Both public comment periods will allot 3 minutes to speakers, totaling 6 minutes per speaker for the meeting. This allows more time for folks to speak before the board and creates a more respectful, transparent, and productive process. We're also aligning the best practices to help our meetings run more efficiently. Again, this will take effect on Tuesday, June 17th at our business meeting at 2 p.m., and it is for a 6-month pilot for the board to assess its effectiveness. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, County Manager. Questions for the County Manager? No, sir. Okay. Next up, we have the consent agenda. There are 7 items. This would be approval of items 1 through 3 and 5 through 8, based on the removal of item 4 to department. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion is second to approve consent items 1 through 8, absent number 4. So 7 items, non-debatable motion. So I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. 5 in favor. That means that motion carries and consent items are approved. So let's move to Department Item 6, Central Services, amendments to Procurement Policy 201 and Attachment A 201-01.
Good afternoon. Kim Burnett, Central Services Director.
Yes.
Hi.
Thank you.
I'm here to request approval to the amendment to the Procurement Policy 201 and Attachment A. The changes were to incorporate legislative changes. We had State Bill 5268 that was effective in July of 2024 and CFR 200 that also was effective in 2024.
Questions for Kim on item 6? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I move to approve the resolution amending the Thurston County Procurement Policy 201 and Attachment A 201-01, previously 201-02, and removal of Attachment B 201-03 to incorporate 2024 legislative changes.
Second.
Motion and second to approve this resolution regarding procurement policy changes. Any discussion on the motion? Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is Public Health and Social Services under item 7. Item is amendment number 6 to the Washington State Department of Health Consolidated Contract.
Good afternoon. Jen Freiheit, the Public Health and Social Services Director. This is a request for approval of Amendment Number 6 to the Washington State Department of Health 2025-2027 Consolidated Contract, providing an additional $436,100 for a revised maximum consideration of $6,091,760 through December 31, 2027. It adds statements of work for 3 programs, which is the workforce development, perinatal hepatitis B, and promotion of immunizations, and it amends the statement of work for 7 other areas and programs within the consolidated contract. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Dr. Freiheit on this item? Is there a motion?
I move to approve Amendment 6 to the Washington State Department of Health Consolidated Contract CLH 32070, providing an additional $436,100 for a revised maximum consideration of $6,091,760 for the duration of January 1, 2025 through January 31, 2027, and authorize the director or designee of the Public Health and Social Services to sign the amendment.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second regarding this contract amendment. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, next up is Public Works, item 8, sub 1, resolution adopting water system plans for Thurston County-owned water systems.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tim Wilson, Water Resources Manager with Public Works. This item is a request for the board to pass a resolution adopting water system plans for the county-owned water systems for the 2025 through 2033 planning period. The Washington State Department of Health regulates water systems and requires purveyors to submit and periodically update their water system plans, with the principal goal being the identification of current demands and future needs so available resources may be applied most efficiently to provide high-quality service at the lowest cost, all while protecting the community's health and safety. Customer engagement during the development of the water system plans included both service area-specific virtual public meetings and a combined system open house held at the Public Works campus. Draft water system plans are posted on the Water and Sewer Utility webpage, and the Utility Advisory Committee has reviewed the plans. And with that background, I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Questions for Tim on item 8.1? Okay, ready for motion.
I move to approve a resolution adopting Thurston County Part A Water System Plan, Satellite Management Agency Plan, and Tamashan Small Water System Management Plan, Boston Harbor Part B Water System Plan, and Grand Mound Part B Water System Plan.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve this resolution regarding Thurston County water system plans. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Carries, thank you. Okay, next up is a Public Works item 8 sub 2, contract award for Shawn Drive Southwest at unnamed tributary to Dempsey Creek Fish Passage Project.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Marcus Dorvick, Public Works Senior Civil Engineer. Public Works is requesting the board's permission to award the construction contract for the Shawn Drive Southwest and unnamed tributary to Dempsey Creek Fish Passage Project number 63024 to Simmons & Sons Construction Incorporated of Montesano, Washington for an amount of $849,854. A total of 9 bids were received on May 5th with Simmons & Sons as the low responsible bidder. This project will replace a 3-foot diameter fish barrier culvert with a 33-foot prefabricated bridge opening about 1.7 miles of upstream habitat. Project funding uses a combination of real estate excise tax dollars and 2 grants, one being from the Department of Ecology Water Resources Stream Flow Restoration Program and the other from the Salmon Recovery Funding Board. I'm happy to take any questions.
Questions for Marcus on this fish passage project? Nope. Okay, is there a motion?
I move to award the contract for the Shawn Drive Southwest at unnamed tributary to Dempsey Creek Fish Passage Project, CP number C63024, to Simmons & Sons Contracting, Inc. of Montesano, Washington, in the amount of $849,854, and to authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the contract and any change orders for this project due to unforeseen conditions only, not for changes in scope, for up to 10% of the contract, $84,985, or an aggregate of $934,839.
Second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second regarding this contract award to Simmons & Sons Contracting. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Marcus. Okay. We're up to item 3 under Public Works, which is project prospectus and local agency agreement for the Chehalis Western Trail Preservation Project Phase 1.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Ben Enfield, Senior Civil Engineer with Design Engineering and Public Works. Public Works is requesting the Board of County Commissioners authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the project prospectus and local agency agreement with the Washington State Department of Transportation for the Chehalis Western Trail Preservation Phase 1 project. Thurston County has been awarded $1,621,238 in federal funding for the design and construction of the Chehalis Western Trail Preservation Project. This project will improve pavement surface conditions on approximately 6.5 miles of the Chehalis Western Trail between 45th Avenue Southeast and 46th Avenue Northeast. The first phase for design will authorize the obligation of $250,000 of federal funds with a 13.5% required local match, equaling $39,018. Subsequent supplements will obligate the funding for future phases of the project. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Ben? All right, ready for a motion.
I move to approve the project prospectus and local agency agreement awarding $1.621 million in federal funding with the Washington State Department of Transportation for the Chehalis Western Trail Preservation Phase 1 project, CP C53001, and authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the agreement and subsequent amendments and supplements.
Second.
Motion and second to approve this project prospectus regarding this trail upgrade project. So discussion on that motion? No. Okay. Then I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Exciting. Okay, now we have item 9, information technology item, professional services agreement for Oracle stabilization.
Good afternoon, Sherry Ilg, IT Director. Thurston County went live with the Oracle Cloud, also known as TC Connect, in June of 2024. Implementing an enterprise system such as this is inherently complex. Thurston County needs knowledge and skills that have not been available to us in order to complete the stabilization of this robust financial and HR system. We reached out to Oracle for assistance. Oracle recommended 3 vendors known for their success in stabilizing Oracle implementations. We interviewed all 3. We received positive feedback from counties in similar situations about the Baker Tilly firm. I'm seeking authorization to waive competitive bidding and enter into a contract with Baker Tilly in the amount not to exceed $335,000. I'd like to mention there are no statutory requirements in Washington to compete for a contract for service. This request to waive competitive bidding is to address our internal procurement policy. I can answer any questions.
Any questions for Sherry? Is there a motion?
I move to approve the sole source. I move to waive competitive bidding and approve the contract with Baker Tilly to assist with stabilization of the Oracle implementation for an amount not to exceed $330,000 for the term of no more than 7 months, and authorize the Director of Information Technology to execute the agreement and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second regarding this stabilization professional services agreement. Any discussion?
I just want to say thank you to Sherry for coming back. I know for folks who may not have seen it, we did discuss this morning at our agenda setting meeting, but I asked Sherry to come and present this on department items, and I just wanted to thank you. And I look forward to seeing how this will benefit the agency as a whole. I know we've had a lot of challenges, so I appreciate the hard work that went into this change, so thank you.
I will say that the project went live June of 2024. The contract was originally signed in 2021. I joined this board in January of 2019, and the decision to proceed with this project and to budget for it had already been made. So I don't know how long this has been going, but it's at least 7 years since we decided that this was something that the organization needed and that we were going to move forward with it, and we're still struggling to get it to the finish line. So I'm hopeful that this step will get us there. So with that, I will call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Next up is commissioner reports, and we'll start with the folks who are virtual. Commissioner Grant, did you have anything to report today?
Yes, I do. I need to sit just 1 second.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my report. Sorry,
Take your
bear
time.
with me. I'm in Fred Hutch Cancer Center today with my son. So my report is, let's see. So we had a kind of a short week. Attended the Transportation Policy Board agenda setting. I got to go to the Public Works Rodeo, and I'm really mad that Emily beat me. But that was really great. It was really exciting to see that whole thing go down and to watch everybody at work. I went to the district court celebration for the mental health court and the veterans court. Attended the multi-care indigo ribbon cutting. Attended the Washington State Deflection and Diversion Summit in Kennewick. That was really amazing. Quite a few of our programs here in Thurston County were highlighted, and I'm just really proud of the work we're doing here in Thurston County. Attended the agriculture grand opening and really was impressed with all the work that Commissioner Fournier and others had put into getting this thing across the finish line. Attended the Thurston Thrives elected official council meeting. Went on a home visit with the Nurse Family Partnership with Public Health. And let's see. Also attended the Housing Justice Forum this weekend that our auditor's office put together on the racially restricted covenants. It was absolutely fascinating and hope to bring some more of that information to this forum soon. Also met with a few people along the way, Doug Ma, Dennis Neal, Behavioral Health Resources, and individual meetings. And then really have been spending my time focusing on preparing for this Thursday's Community Learning Collaborative hosted by my office. Hoping people will join us from 6 to 8 at the Lacey Community Center. Doors are opening at 5, and there'll be lots of community folks represented there tabling. So hope people will join us there. And that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Grant. Commissioner Mejia.
Thank you. Can you hear me all right?
Perfect.
Okay, so joining you from DC, I'm currently at the County Leadership Institute, hosted by the National Association of Counties. So this is an exciting opportunity, and very thankful for the Washington State Association of Counties for giving me this opportunity. For my, I would be happy to report once I get back. So things I've been doing, I did the community conversations that was hosted by the Community Foundation at SPSCC, attended the Intercity Transit meeting, attended the Boys and Girls Club breakfast, also attended the Public Works Rodeo, and really just a huge shout out to Aaron Norquist. And I also want to give congrats to Commissioner Klaus. And, you know, I thought the competition was how many cones you could take out. So I'm pretty sure. I'm sure there will be a budget amendment just with how many cones I took. Ooh, lost my place. I apologize.
It's like picking up, you know, coin pouches and stuff in a video game, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to grab them.
Also attended the Mental Health and Veterans Court event and attended the ribbon cutting, or I attended after they cut the ribbon at the Yelm Indigo Urgent Care, and that's such a really great center and such a great resource for that area. Attended the Tumwater Education Foundation along with Commissioner Menser, and then Commissioner Menser graciously drove us after coming from a long drive himself to the Kennewick 2025 Washington State Deflection and Diversion Summit. And I'm sure other commissioners will touch on this, but it was really great to have 3 commissioners present, to have a prosecutor present, to have a sheriff's office present, our BHASO, public health, and it was really great to see Thurston County represented there and just see the amazing work that our local services and our local BHASO is doing. And it was such a really great event. And it was great to see our staff presenting in 2 forums. Attended the AA NHPI Heritage Month celebration. I did a meeting with Commissioner Vasavada on electric ferries and seeing kind of what the timeline is on that. And so we'll continue to see how I can support her as she goes on that. Attended the gas forum for gasoline spending and EV fuel cost savings for higher mileage for Black and Latino drivers. Attended the agricultural park grand opening, and congrats to Commissioner Fournier on that. It really was, great to hear you speak and just all the history that has gone into it, and you bring in partners together to collaborate in that way. Attended the Thurston Thrives 2025 Elected Officials Council meeting. Attended a housing roundtable held by Congresswoman Strickland, and that one was brought in nonprofits, builders, and just different stakeholders and kind of how we get more affordable housing in our community. It was really insightful. She was asking about how federal regulations are affecting each of the different sectors, and we had Senator Bateman there present too, and so all of them kind of spoke on, both public and private and government, all kind of speaking on just how federal regulations are currently affecting them. And then attended a meeting with Commissioner Fournier with the Experience Olympia and Beyond board, and that is all.
All right. That's a lot. Commissioner Klaus.
Thank you, Chair. So I attended quite a few community events. I attended the South Sound Military Communities Partnership meeting at the Eagles Golf Course in DuPont last week. That was a really awesome experience. That was the first meeting I've attended, and as the representative on the commission for that group, I was able to be introduced to Maria Tobin, who leads the group, and they only have 2 meetings a year that are the big community meetings, but they do have an executive team and some work groups that I'm going to be talking about potentially joining so that I can support that group more and act as a liaison between things happening up at JBLM and local government here in the county. So that's something I'm really interested in diving into more. I also, on that kind of same note, attended a community veterans forum at the Veterans Hub last week. And I'm really, really grateful that I was able to attend that event. I didn't know that our Veterans Hub in Lacey facilitated events like that. And we had a bunch of roundtables and veterans got to get together and just kind of talk about their experiences and ways that we felt included and excluded in the community. So that was a really powerful event, and I got to meet some local veterans and kind of promote the Veterans Advisory Board. I know we have a couple vacancies on that, and some of our VAB members were present at that event as well. I attended the Day of Champions event at North Thurston High School. I also attended the Ag Park Innovation opening and also wanted to congratulate Commissioner Fournier for all the efforts that went into that. That was also a really powerful event, and Commissioner Fournier gave a great speech. So it's too bad it wasn't recorded because it was awesome.
It was only 3 minutes.
Was it only 3 minutes?
No. No, it was supposed to be 3 minutes. It went for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long speech, but it was all worth it. So that was that was awesome. And I was able to leave early enough to not get stuck in the crazy traffic. I heard that it was really hard to get out of the parking lot. So I also attended, we had a Regional Housing Council meeting, but we also had our Regional Housing Council retreat on Friday, the 30th. And that was, we got a lot done. It was really productive. I think we're really close to having our mission and vision statement solidified. So that'll be coming up next. And then following the finalization of the mission and vision statement, we'll be going into conversations about governance and the role of the RHC. And we had members from all jurisdictions present. Our county manager attended for a majority of the session as well. So I thought it was very productive. One update I wanted to share regarding the Regional Housing Council is that the recommendations came forward for a contract with Catholic Community Services to provide rental support. And so that'll kind of close the loop on the discussion we had about contracting with CAC. So that recommendation will be coming forward soon. And we'll be looking at Catholic Community Services for providing those services. I also attended the Multicare Indigo ribbon cutting. I think I was pulling into the parking lot as the ribbon was being cut, so I didn't get to see that part. But I did get to tour the facility, and it's really exciting that Yelm's going to have that resource. I also attended the Mental Health and Veterans Court Anniversary Celebration and the Deschutes Estuary Restoration Team Donor Appreciation Dinner, where we heard remarks from Representative Lisa Parsley about what's going on with funding at the state level. We also heard from Councilmember Danny Madrone from Olympia and Sarah DeVille representing Marilyn Strickland's office. So that was a great event. One update I wanted to provide as well for another board I serve on, the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. We had a meeting yesterday, and there are quite a few concerns because they get their money from the federal government, and that money has not been coming in. So we've had contracts with multiple nonprofits in the community that the nonprofits have spent the money, and it's a reimbursement model. So we're not able to reimburse funds that have already been expended. And that's a conversation we might want to have at a board work session coming up because it's causing a lot of issues. And we have all of the providers who receive funds writing letters of concern. And I was hoping we could potentially talk as a board about how we can support those letters, either elevating them or maybe writing a letter of our own. So we'll be seeing some information about that coming forward soon, but it doesn't look good. And we're talking about how local nonprofit agencies that are contracted through these funds are going to file their reporting because they can't spend the money, but EFSP is trying to continue meeting as required, even though we're getting information from the federal government that we shouldn't be meeting. The federal government points of contact have been replaced with new staff members that are not responding to our EFSP team with United Way. So there's no communication, and there's just a lot of concerns arising from that situation. Do you have a question, Commissioner Fournier?
Yeah, can you send that information to the county manager so that can be distributed to us, please?
Absolutely. Yeah, that meeting just took place yesterday, and I'll be connecting with the staff at United Way to discuss what exactly the board could do to support. But I'll absolutely send that information out as soon as possible. so everyone can see it.
What is the name of the board again?
It's the Emergency Food and Shelter Program through United Way.
And we shouldn't be meeting about that?
Well, so they've had contacts at the federal government in the past prior to the new administration that were very responsive. But now the staff members who have filled those positions are not responding to our United Way staff. And so they're being told that they don't need to meet anymore, but we're gonna continue meeting. So our local United Way team is choosing to continue having EFSP meetings every month or quarter. I can't remember how often we meet, but we're gonna just continue as planned so that in the future, when these barriers go away, hopefully we can provide reports that show that we were still following the requirements that were in place prior to the current administration. So it's kind of a big mess, but we're just doing our best to abide by the regulations that are already in place, assuming that.
You say we, what is that? I'm just sorry.
United Ways,
Okay.
yeah, the EFSP board. So, and it's led by United Way staff. So, yeah, when I say we, it's United Way and everyone who sits on that board, which is me, we have Carolyn Cox, we have a couple jurisdictions, and then we also have representatives from local organizations like, Salvation Army, and like, Jason from the BHASO, he's there. So we have like local providers and representatives from jurisdictions on that board. So, yeah.
Okay, more to come on that.
Yeah, more to come on that.
Commissioner Fournier.
I also attended the Public Works Rodeo. Just want to say that I think Mr. Roundsley has been practicing in the off season because he did pretty good. Sounds like he did better than last year, and he was not a bad mini excavator operator. I was impressed. He did pretty well. Did a ride along with Sheriff Sanders. Nothing crazy happened. Nothing to really report there. Had a successful ride along. I did learn that we moved facilities kind of in the Lacey area. We were in Station 34 with some offices. Then we've moved to an office space on Martin Way. That was news to me, but I thought that sounded like it was a good move because they're aligned with some DOC offices, which makes sense. I also attended the Boys and Girls Club breakfast last week. It was great to hear from the Boys and Girls Club about the programs that they provide and some of their. They had like an all-star member that was highlighted. EMS council meeting. Went over some contracts. Kind of got some updates there. Fire Commissioners Association. We got a report. We heard from their the CARES program manager for Olympia Fire Department. It was kind of a good opportunity for Olympia Fire to share with the other fire commissioners kind of what their kind of co-responder model looks like for Olympia Fire. It's not necessarily something that the outlying jurisdictions have, but it was good for them to hear about what Olympia does. Attended the EDC. Well, I didn't make the EDC board meeting because I was here for the meeting with the Nisqually Tribal Council, which was an excellent meeting. But things to note from the EDC board meeting: Center for Business Innovation held its annual Inspire conference for the Washington Center for Women in Business. Sounds like it was very well attended and exceeded expectations. Steady, which we're all familiar with, had a great report. They've helped Bucota. They helped Bucota with all kinds of stuff. They helped them, and We Love Rainier secure $39,000 in capacity building grants from Department of Commerce. Secured an $18,000 USDA grant. Assisted all the South County jurisdictions with their lodging tax applications. Applied and received a grant from the Chehalis tribe. They helped us in working and advocating on behalf of Joe's Place with the Department of Health and resolving an issue so that Joe's Place could stay in business. Coordinated co-op purchase for the visitor's guide. Gave an update on Oregon Trail Days attendance from last year, supporting Bucota Spectacular, various other events. And it's really cool that Steady's going to have an office that is permanently located in South Thurston County as opposed to the Lacey EDC office, so that support is going to happen in the community in South County. So that's really exciting. I want to thank everybody that attended and also mentioned the Ag Park ribbon cutting. That was a really big day for District 4 and all of not only Thurston County, but the region. And yes, thank you for suffering through my 15-minute speech. But I wasn't going to let that moment go. I was going to take up every moment that I could snatch away from everybody else, and Aslan was going to deal with it. So thank you. And that is basically my report.
Okay, well, if you're here for the public hearing, we are almost there, but I did want to go through some of my events from the last week or so. Attended the Tumwater Chamber Lunch and got a presentation on the Tumwater Works program that's put on by the school district for at-risk kids in the summer. It's pretty cool. Attended something that our public health department put on called Project Safer Roundtable. This is an effort to connect law enforcement with the developmental disability community and brainstorm on ways to make that interaction safer and better. Sheriff Sanders was there, Olympia Police Department. There was good representation from law enforcement as well as public health, and it was a good event. Had a meeting with the prior director of the State Building Code Council to get some historical background from him. Was at the Salmon Recovery Council meeting in Everett, which knocked me out of the Mental Health Veterans Corps event, the rodeo, several other things that were going on that Thursday. But I was up in Everett, and then the regular meeting was followed by a field visit to the Chinook Marsh Restoration Project, which is a big estuary up in that area near Everett, Snohomish County, that they're working on piece by piece, trying to restore the entire estuary in chunks. And so they were previewing for us what they're going to do in the next chunk of that project. Attended the Tumwater Education Foundation event with Commissioner Mejia. Attended the Washington Diversion and Deflection Summit in Kennewick with Commissioners Grant and Mejia. As my colleagues have already said, it was great to see Thurston County represented there, highlighted there, celebrated there for our Scout program, for some of our behavioral health initiatives. So I was really proud of the team there and learned some things as well. Attended the Asian American Pacific Islander event at the Evergreen State College. Attended the Ag Park grand opening with everybody else. Went to the Squaxin Island Tribal flag raising at Capitol High School last Thursday, I believe it was. They were simultaneously raising it at Olympia High School and Capitol. So they had tribal council members split between the two and Olympia school board members split between the two. But both high schools are in my district now with the redistricting, but I had to go with Capitol, being that it's where my kids go. So we had a good time at that event. Thurston Thrives Executive Council breakfast meeting last week, toured the Harlequin facility to look at some of the money that we spent from ARPA funds previously and some of the upcoming needs that their facility is facing. Attended the Nisqually Land Trust event on Saturday night. That was awesome as always. And then went to an assisted living facility that invited, I think, all the commissioners. I don't know. I just happened to see the invite, and it was a Sequoia. It's over by Lily Road, and they had a Tunes and Tulips event, and they invited me for a tour of their facility to see what they do over there. So I attended that, and they had live music, and it was pretty cool. So that's my report. And with that, we will adjourn this meeting, and we will move directly into our public hearing. So thanks, everybody, for a good board meeting.
Same Zoom link, right?
Correct.
Same Zoom link. Okay, sit tight, commissioners. Okay, let's just go right to it. We are now going to move to a public hearing to consider water use efficiency goals for the Thurston County water utilities. The purpose of this public hearing is to accept and consider public comment on water use efficiency goals for Thurston County-owned water utilities. This is a hybrid public hearing. Those wishing to testify have joined by Zoom, emailed in comment, or mailed in comment. If you wish to testify, please visit the Thurston County homepage online, select BOCC meetings, hearings, and work session agendas. The information to join this public hearing remotely is posted there. If you do not wish to testify but would like to listen and follow along, please watch the live stream through the Thurston County YouTube channel to help us manage attendance. Tim Wilson, Water Resources Manager, will provide information on this topic. Assuming anyone on Zoom wishes to testify, your name will be read aloud. You do not need to sign up in any particular manner. You'll have 4 minutes to provide testimony to the board. Time may not be given to another person. When you are called on, please state your name and address for the record. Public hearing is now open. Tim will present background information, written comment, will summarize any written comment that was submitted and provide any additional information requested by the board. Tim, floor is yours.
Thank you. The Washington State Department of Health, which is the regulatory agency for public water purveyors, requires us to periodically establish water use efficiency goals. By statute, the goals must include a demand-side objective, which can be thought of as water efficiency goals for our consumers, and supply-side goals, which are goals for managing leakage, waste, and theft within the water distribution system, collectively referred to as distribution system leakage. The water use efficiency goal setting process must give our customers the opportunity to participate. To that end, county staff have held both virtual goal setting meetings respectively with each of our service areas. An additional open house was held in April to provide further engagement opportunity for our customers. The water use efficiency goals are posted on our utility webpage, and the Utility Advisory Committee has been informed and engaged throughout the process and are in support of the goals outlined. The proposed goals have been aligned with the updated water system plans and would be valid for a 10-year period. Proposed goals include a demand-side goal to maintain average system water demand for Boston Harbor and Tamashan and residential water system usage at Grand Mound at or below 200 gallons per day per connection. The supply-side goal for all 3 service areas is to maintain distribution system leakage below 10% of production over the planning period. Notice of this public hearing was published in the official county newspaper, and to date we have received no comments related to this topic. Following today's public hearing, staff is recommending the board approve the resolution adopting water use efficiency goals for the Thurston County-owned water utilities. And with that background, I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Questions for Tim before we go to public comment? Okay, thank you. Let's move to public comment. Is there anyone's, I don't have a sign up sheet. No one signed up. Anyone here to provide public comment on this topic? Okay, I don't see anyone online.
Thank you.
So we can discuss whether we can move, close the public hearing and then take action on the resolution. Is that the proposal?
Yes, please.
Okay, so is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. The public hearing is closed. And now we can, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Move to approve the resolution adopting water use efficiency goals for the Thurston County-owned water utilities.
Second.
A motion has been made to approve these water efficiency goals for water facilities owned by Thurston County. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. That's it. We're done.